Hello. I have been drying some flowers that I've grown for the past few months, I guess. And I have a bunch here. I have some more hanging up to dry in my office, and I'll go get them if I think I need them. This is my first time making a wreath, so I'm just gonna leave them up there. I'd rather have them hanging than being scattered around the house. Some of my sunflowers that I dried are already losing petals, so I need to be very careful with these. What I have is a bunch of yarrow. This was the Summer Pastels yarrow mix from Johnny Seeds. I have a bunch of straw flower, some kind of apricot colored straw flowers. I have a bunch of dried things that I foraged around the neighborhood. These aren't the ones that I've grown, and I've had them in this arrangement for a little while. I'm gonna set this to the side. And I really like it as an arrangement, but thought that I would pull some from here for my wreath if I need to, and maybe I'll add some of the dried flowers to that arrangement as well. I have some sunflowers, which I did not know you could dry them. And they definitely don't dry as they look fresh, but they still are a good pop of color. Next year, hopefully I can try and grow more and harvest them at a better time. I notice when they're just starting to bloom, that's a good time to harvest them, and they'll still continue to open up a little bit more even when they're hanging to dry and not in any water. But yeah, that's the best time. If they're fully open already and you harvest them and leave them up to dry, all of the petals fall off. At least that's what happened in my experience. I just pulled these from my mountain ash or rowan tree. Now is probably not the best time to be pruning that tree, but I only did a few off of the edge. It's okay if those lower branches die anyways. I'd want to prune them off anyways, and I haven't let these dry yet. I just harvested them earlier today, but I'm sure they can dry on the wreath. I have just a little bit of larkspur that dries so beautifully. I have some light pink ones as well hanging in the office, but I don't know if that's kind of the vibe I want to go for. Also this blue, I'm just not sure of, this blue delphiniums. That's dried really nicely. And yeah, I think, some eryngium stems. So this is sea holly, white glitter sea holly. And I really like it. They have just an interesting shape. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'll probably get a closer up view of what I'm doing, and I'll just let you know what I'm doing as I go. Okay, first let me tell you about what else I have. I have this, I think it's a grapevine wreath I bought off of Amazon in a 2-pack. I can link it down below, as well as this, I got like a 3-pack of this floral wire. I'll just start and wrap the floral wire around. I think you can definitely use other string that's strong and that you can pull on. I am gonna give this a good twist. Maybe wrap it around a couple of times just so I can get it tight. And I'm really just like pulling this whole bit of floral wire around with it, just so it can stay tight. I think that's pretty good. Honestly, it doesn't matter which way is the front or back. And what I've also been doing is I've just been creating little bundles of flowers that I like together. And then I'll trim off the bottom, and then I'll start to arrange them. So here is one bundle. Here's another. This one's a decent amount bigger. And I am going to just cut it all to be shorter. So for this first little bundle of flowers, I'm just going to place it facing straight up and wrap the floral wire around the stems and the wreath frame, just enough so that it's secure and I know it's not going to go anywhere. And I'll keep this wire going throughout the length of this whole wreath. So I'm not going to be cutting it anytime until I'm completely finished with it. So I'll place the second bundle facing outwards with its stems kind of crisscrossing the stems of the first one. And then I'll wrap the floral wire around that. And I'll keep on doing this going around the wreath frame, just alternating in which direction I'm going to be facing or pointing the bundle of flowers. Typically for the long bundles, so the ones that have like these long grasses or anything else like decorative, I'll have those facing outwards so the inside doesn't get too messy. And generally the tighter sort of you have those little bundles and the shorter you have them, the more uniform and compact the wreath is going to be. And you can use the same flower bundle pattern for every bundle you use, and that will make a really beautiful uniform wreath. But I definitely don't have enough flowers for that, so I'm going for a more rustic vibe where things are a bit more free and wild looking. I definitely went into focus mode working on this and didn't really talk so much, so I'm just going to fast forward you through what I did. A lot of it was me sort of placing the flowers in bundles, seeing if I liked the look of that bundle, seeing if I liked it next in the lineup on the wreath. I think this whole process maybe took me about an hour, maybe over an hour to do, and it was a really fun process. I just liked, zoning out, doing something creative and something with my hands, and I really like the way it turned out. Actually, I really like the way it turned out halfway through. I think maybe the last bits of it I'm not too fond of, and I would have been totally happy if I left it halfway unfinished and maybe covered the unfinished end with a ribbon or something. So maybe that's what I'll do for the next one. I really like that unsymmetrical sort of shape to it. It's a new day and I am just gonna finally finish this wreath. I just put it on the back burner for a few days while I caught up with life stuff. I put the last little bundle on last time I was here, and so I am just gonna cut. Let me show you what I'm doing with the floral wire. I am just making sure everything's still on tight. Pulling it, I'm leaving maybe like 5 inches and cutting it off there, and that's probably too much. I'm just being careful with all of this, and then I'm just going to loop this into another loop and kind of twist it around just so everything stays secure. Really, because I've used one continuous strand of floral wire around this, I'm pretty sure it's all going to hold in place. Okay, so I've been thinking about what kind of ribbon I want to use, and because this whole pattern is pretty rustic, I want to use some kind of something rustic for the ribbon as well. And I don't really have any ribbon, but I have this length of burlap, so I think I'm going to try and use this and see how it goes. Let's see. And burlap is pretty expensive, so if you find something cheaper to do this with, I definitely recommend that. I'm going to cut a long strip off of this. Okay, I'm going to cut it even thinner. No idea how to tie a bow, but I'm hoping that that holds. All I needed was just something like frilly with a couple of loops in it here, and that's what I have. And I think I'll try and use this part to hang it from a little hook we have at in our front door. So I'll hang that up and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's what it looks like on the door. I am so happy with how it turned out. I really love this rustic vibe. I love the way that dried flowers look. It's been so fun to like grow these and to keep them drying, and now to enjoy them in a time where I don't have anything fresh. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.